For my project, I decided to interview my general foreman of the company that I work for. My project is over the labor shortage in America, so I decided to do the company that I have firsthand experience with. I asked my boss 3 questions. His name is Chris Johnson. I asked him, how does the labor shortage affect the company as far as you've seen? He told me a lot about this. We talked for maybe 10 or 15 minutes about this question. And the main things that he talked about was how it is a worker's market. Workers are able to choose what they want whenever they get hired in. They do not have to just, get offered a job. They get to say, I want this much money, and they can almost, argue with the person who's interviewing them on how much pay they can make, or how much PTO time they have, or what kind of benefits they can get because of how much help these companies are needing. I should add that the company that we work for is a blue-collar field. It is an electrical service. We build substations. It is all outdoors. It's labor work. It's pretty intense stuff. You're gone all week from home, every week, and just with a group of guys that you may or may not know well. Adding to this question that I asked Chris, that he said that we had to hire everybody that puts an application in just because of how much we need help. Another thing is having to teach a lot of people the same job over and over again, because so many people are coming in and then leaving, and then another person gets hired in for the same position and then they leave, because it's so often a lot of people don't even last the first week, or if they do, they make it maybe 2 weeks, or a lot of them quit for sure by the first month. And all this time that we teach them and all the work that we put in with them and the money that the company invested is all wasted. The second question that I asked Chris was, how is it affecting the job itself? Talking about the job sites that we're on and the projects that we are on, and maybe even see what the other companies that we're doing these jobs for think. Well, he said, one, that you're having to take a lot of risks. We're having to do things that we're not supposed to do, or maybe it doesn't meet OSHA safety violations or whatever. Different crews have different things they do. We don't get to see each other hardly at all. We're all in different states or different parts of the country or whatever. Another thing that's affecting the company this way with the job, it is material. We have to wait on things like steel or switches or wire or whatever, and it's all months out. We're having to wait forever for this. Like one job that we're on right now, we've been working on it for a month, and they told us last week that one key part to this job before we can keep going is switches. Well, the switches will not be here till December. Chris talked about this a lot and how much he's seen on every job. Of course, I don't get to see this, but with me and Chris getting to talk about this, it made me realize a lot of things that I did not get to see. The last question I asked, is there anything that you would like to add? Just a basic question, just because I want to kind of pick his brain and maybe I'll learn a few things or whatever, and I did. One thing he told me is that natural disasters are taking a huge toll on everything that we do. They're slowing down production, they're slowing down material getting to us, they're slowing down everything, costing companies more money and costing us more money. Another thing that he added is that our turnover rate is 70% for anybody that's worked here for a year or less. He also added that for people who's worked here from maybe a year to 5 years, it's about 60%, so it's not really much better. And he said after about 10 or 15 years that it's a lot better once you get to that high, that people usually end up staying. He said he couldn't really put a percentage on it just because that there's only 3 guys that have been here for more than 10 years and they're all still here. But another thing that he added is that I never really thought about, and with me going through a college education, it didn't really make much sense to me when he first said it, but it kind of makes sense, is that the money is going up for workers who do this blue collar work, that learn these trades, because so many people are going to school for a degree. So many people are going to school for a doctor or a lawyer or to be a teacher or whatever they may please. And with so many people in, say, my generation or the generation before me, it takes a toll on putting new people out in the field for these older people to teach us how to do these things if everybody's going to school to get a college degree. So all they can do to account for this is pay more money to draw more people in. I really enjoyed doing this project, and I'm glad I chose Chris to do that with. He taught me a lot. He's a super good guy. He is a very fair boss, and he wants you to know these kind of things. He knows that this is a very tremendous thing that can affect the company, and if it's a company that I'm working for, he wants me to know these things, and whether I take it a good way or a bad way. And he taught me a lot, and I appreciate that he took his time out to do this for me. But it was definitely a good subject to talk about for me, as far as seeing it for what I'm wanting to do for this company whenever I graduate college, and to see that the toll on what it takes on just this one company, which we have 500 employees. It's not like we're a small company, but we're not ginormous. But I can only imagine on how much it can affect companies that are bigger than us, or even how many people have to shut down businesses or worry about this next job for companies who are way smaller than us. And all you can do is just imagine, and to see it take an effect on us. You have power companies itself. We're a subcontractor group. We don't own any power. We don't sell power. But companies like Kentucky Utilities, they sell this power, and they have to deal with these kind of things and wait for us to do it. And you can imagine what kind of other differences they have to go through as far as the labor shortage and waiting on certain things for their jobs to be done to keep their company going, to keep putting money in their pocket and keep the power on for the people who are buying power from them. Like I said, I learned a lot from this, and I'm really glad I chose this subject. And I hope that maybe it opened your eyes or somebody else's.